Hello, my name's Chuck Wooden, and I'm also joined by my co-host, Monique Melanson-Hunter, and you're watching the Veterans Corner.
Thank you, Chuck. If you haven't tuned into our show before, our show supports veterans, their families, and all those who give their support to veterans in our community.
Thanks, Monique. We got a great show here today. We got somebody returning back from, what was it, back in March, I think, this group was here. It's a foundation that does great things. Actually, the last time you were here, there wasn't enough time to even, and we did we do a two-parter? We did?
No, just one.
Just a one?
Just one,
okay.
yeah.
Well, it's great to have you back, and it's Forever in My Heart Foundation, and I won't tell you what they do. I will let them tell you what they do, because I'm sure I will mess that up. As always, don't say anything. To our close right here is Mira Al-Licky. She's the president and founder of Forever in My Heart. To her right is Kevin Robitaille. Okay. Kevin's a U.S. Army colonel, JAG officer, judge advocate, general corps, and he's the Forever in My Heart volunteer with the Veterans Affairs Committee. Welcome. Welcome to the show. And we also have Judy Bell. Judy is the executive director and corporate sponsorship and fundraiser programs. Welcome. It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
For you two, it's the first time. Mira, you're an old veteran at this. So let's jump right into this, because this is a two-part series. There's a lot of information to be put out. You're going to find it very informative, very interesting. So let's just jump into it. What we normally do, Colonel, is we usually recognize the veterans on the show. And just if you could just tell us, how long you served, what branch. I think we already went over that, but just let the viewers know again.
Well, I just retired after 30 years in the Army. Spent most of my time as a judge advocate, which means I'm a lawyer. Yeah. Served in a variety of positions. Served in Afghanistan, Kuwait, Qatar, Korea, here in the States. My last assignment was as the commander of the U.S. Army Claims Service, which is at Fort Meade, Maryland. And after I retired, I returned back home to Connecticut. My wife's been here for a number of years. Salem, Connecticut's our home. Yeah. And we found out about the Forever in My Heart Foundation, and it just drew us into something that we could help out and a way for us to start giving back to the veteran community.
Well, on behalf of our viewers, on behalf of the crew here at the Veterans Corner, we want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So let's jump right into this. Monique, you want to start off?
So Mira, can you tell us a little bit about the foundation and how you got started? What made you get started in it?
So Forever My Heart Foundation, we take dogs from shelters. We assess them because very few of them are capable of being trained for a service dog. And we train them for PTSD or any other psychological disability, and also mobility. So any physical disability, we train the dogs and we donate them at no cost to the veterans. So I believe we are the only organization in Connecticut and maybe in New England that all of the dogs we train are donated for no cost to veterans.
That's nice.
That is amazing.
Yeah. When did you start this again?
So we as a nonprofit are very new. We started in February of 2018, but we actually come with a huge resume because our trainers that are pretty much the core of the foundation, because without the training we have no dogs and nothing to give to the veterans. They've been training service dogs, and not only service dogs, they've been doing police work and competitions for almost 30 years. So we are very, very blessed that they partner up with us, and this is how the foundation started, because without them we could never do it. And I'm very confident when I say we really have the best trainers in Connecticut.
That's great. That's great. Andover, right? Is that
yes,
where the main?
It's Hub River Shepherds in Andover, Connecticut. That's where our training facility is. That's where right now the dogs are trained into. We build our own, facility and housing project.
You looking to stay in that area or branch
out? We're definitely going to stay Central Connecticut. We're looking to have some land donated. If not, we're going to look to purchase some land. So it's really going to depend on town zonings and a lot of factors where we're going to go and where we're going to build.
Who will allow you to be there
Exactly.
and who won't? Nowadays, that's a big,
it is.
big factor. You had mentioned nonprofit. Now, obviously, you're 501c.
501c3, yes. We are, any participation as far as donations, sponsorships for the foundation are 100% tax deductible. And we know that there's a huge competitions for nonprofits out there. So we try for the corporate sponsorships, which Judy probably can talk more about. We try to be very creative and, not just take their check and give them tax deductible donations, but also we created marketing programs that they can use for their corporation, to use as a marketing, as not only donating money to the foundation, but also sponsoring and helping Connecticut veterans.
It's very smart.
Now it's, as you said earlier, I mean, this is you're all volunteers.
All volunteers, no one is paid in the foundation.
So
amazing.
that's to be pointed out because it's a major thing nowadays. Is when people are giving to organizations, they want to know what's going to, how much is actually going to the organization. So with you're all volunteers, the viewers should know that most of the money is
All of the money.
All of the
all of it.
100% of the money
Yeah.
goes back to the foundation.
So and that's something that really need to be noted.
Yes, so we don't have a single person on the payroll.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So it's a great thing that you guys do. Great thing.
Yes. Thank you. So I'm going to skip a little bit. I'm going to go to Judy because I'm interested. You just talked about the corporate sponsorships. So are they available? What kind of corporate sponsorships are there? Do you have any that you interested to mention maybe?
Well, I don't want to mention any names, but what we try to do is to make it easy for companies to donate, but be part of, it's a community effort. And so we go to large organizations where we know where they may have veterans working and have an interest in including them to be part of the community helping veterans. And so we talk to them about perhaps sponsoring a dog or allowing their employees to host a dog while the dog is in training to be a service dog. So then the company would then pick up all the expenses for the training of that dog, and they could name the puppy.
Yep.
They can have one of their employees be the host family, and then they would then be responsible for taking the dog to the training every Saturday, and then continue that training every week, and become part of our family. So it's a community effort. It's not something that we can do alone. We need the community support.
Absolutely.
Which is helping employees working for the various organizations within Connecticut.
I mean, with having those corporate sponsorships, it's a great vehicle to keep the program moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. It's more about networking with large companies and getting the word out to all the veterans groups that we are here. Because we are a relatively new nonprofit organization, we're not widely known as yet, but we're working on that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what we talked about, coming back on the show. This show is actually getting more and more viewers. Not just in Connecticut, but outside of Connecticut.
Oh, well, that's
With
fabulous.
YouTube and all that. We've taped over, well over 100 shows now.
Keep losing track, but it's
Yeah.
200, it's 106 or 107.
Yeah, well, it's up around 110,
Yeah.
110 shows so far.
That's fabulous.
And the main mission of this is to get the word out.
Getting the
of
word
all
out.
organizations and foundations, individuals, and groups like you guys. We talked about this before. We've got the Facebook page. You guys will be on Facebook tonight. So I mean, every avenue that we can get to
Social
get
media.
our guests out there,
Yeah.
Exposure, and I mean that's what the main mission of the show is.
Great.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
And we, like Judy mentioned, we created programs that, like one of the, we have different sponsorship levels, and if anybody is interested, they can go to our website. We have it listed from event sponsorship, but also with sponsoring a dog, they can name the dog, we'll shoot a video that this company is actually sponsoring this dog for a particular veteran, then be part of, presenting the dog to the veteran, and they can even go back, 10 months later and do a testimonial how the dog really change the veteran's life. And posting this on their social media website gives them good,
PR. Very
and and at least not only that they can state that they're donating the money, but they can actually show where the money is going and how the money is changing lives of Connecticut veterans.
That's huge because a normal you would donate money. Or corporate sponsorship would just be money, but this is a huge program. I mean, really, everyone, the people in the company get involved and they're invested in that. I think that's great.
But it also improves employee morale because they're all doing something together
That's
and
wonderful.
contributing together.
The more that get involved, the more they feel like they're part of it, obviously it's going to grow,
Right.
which it has.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're actually growing quite a bit.
So with all these things we're talking about, how do you get volunteers? Do you how does one get involved? Let's say someone's watching our show and they say, boy, that sounds like really something that I would really love to be involved with. How would they go about that?
So again, if you're interested, you go to our website, and I think there's a number of things that are listed there. There's a bunch of different needs, from small, if you just want to get involved in helping out with a fundraising event, one-time thing, you can do that, all the way up to, the dogs need homes while they're puppies, so you get involved with being the boarding or the sponsor family, taking the dogs to training all the time. So, there's different levels that you can get involved with. But again, I think the key is the website to go to.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Exposure.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so true. It really is. And did you want? Let's see. Did we want to ask them about fundraising events that are coming up?
Well, we were touching base on the corporate sponsorships and all that. I think maybe we can jump into the private donations.
Oh.
Is there? I mean,
We're always open to receiving donations. All donations to the organization are tax deductible. We are all volunteer organizations, so all the money that we raise goes directly towards the costs of the dogs and the training. And we're very excited about that and very proud of that. It's the type of organization you love to be involved with because it's giving. And but it does take money to cover the cost for the dogs. And as well as the training. So all donations are greatly appreciated. Again, we have information on our website or on Facebook.
Or you can just send a donation,
at the end of this segment and the segment we'll be doing for next week, we will definitely have the website out there. That will be on Facebook tonight.
Great.
Not only on our personal ones, but it will be on the Veterans Corner page itself. If you haven't seen that, we do have one. It's the Veterans Corner CT on Facebook. So, and we try to promote all our guests, and then some. Anything that has to do anything with veterans, we're out there with that. So, you were talking about fundraising and all that and events. Maybe we can do that for the second show.
Yeah, that
because
sounds good.
that's going to be a
She
lot
mentioned pierogi making, Chuck, and frankly,
Yeah,
we're all the viewers are interested in that. So I want to hear about
we
that.
want to keep them in suspense. Keep them in suspense for the
That
second
sounds
show.
good,
We want them to
sounds
come
good.
back and watch the second one.
Well, we
so.
have a number of exciting things coming up, so
Great.
we look forward to
and
sharing that
I'm
with you.
sure that that could take up probably a whole 25 minutes.
That's right.
Because I think one of the questions we were going to ask is, what do you got not only this year but next year?
Always thinking ahead.
Yes.
So, and you have to. You have
Yeah.
to.
Absolutely. So, Mira, since you were here in March, do you have any updates for our viewers? Did you have any events? Did anything happen since you've been here in March?
Well, we right now found majority of the cost for training and taking care of the dogs with the money that we raised during the event. So, we have a couple of huge events a year, which is our upcoming gala on September 28th, which we'll talk more about. It's going to be at Foxwoods this year. But we also have several events, during the year, which are pierogi making classes. And this is a huge, support for our foundation. Those classes always sell out, and we truly, make decent amount of money on them. So people come in and basically they learn how to make pierogis. They roll it, cut it. Then we cook the pierogis. They taste it, see how good they did. And we have, we had a couple of them, and we have one coming up. And what the true change for us and the biggest thing that we are very, very proud of since November is we actually are going to be starting placing our dogs at the York prison. So we met with them. We have an orientation coming up at the end of the month, so probably starting next month. That's going to be kind of our home base for a lot of our dogs.
That's wonderful.
So that's a very, very...
It's a win-win, I think.
That was actually a question that we were going to talk about.
Oh, you were? Sorry, I jumped.
Well, no. I'm glad.
I like she got the pierogies in there.
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
saying. You think there's 2 spots available? Asking.
I think that we're going to be taking the show on the road. It's funny because not funny. If you follow Facebook, if you follow, your page, I've seen the pierogi events, and you kind of. You're always watching it, late at night or something like that, and you wonder, why didn't I see this earlier today? And most of the time it's over in New Britain, isn't it?
No, actually, the last ones we had in New London, and this one coming up.
I knew there was a new one there somewhere.
Yeah, and it's going to be in Colchester, and
Yeah.
we're going to have over 200 people.
Yeah.
Well, two classes, 2 and 6 p.m., but in total.
And I think it might be 202
It could be.
or more.
Or more.
Yes, the whole crew, yes. We'll need a whole table.
The fundraiser events, like I said, we'll talk about that on the next show. We've got probably about 8 minutes left, 7 minutes. I mean, a 25-minute segment goes by pretty fast, as you found out the last time,
Yes.
because we had so much to talk about. Is there anything you'd like to touch base on of the stuff that we've already talked about today?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing, we obviously always looking for donations, but also we're looking for applicants.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting better, and people, know us a little bit more than they did back in March. But we're still, looking for applicants for those dogs. So if you know anyone that's a veteran with mobility issue or PTSD, once again, we have the application right on our website. Or if you know, a friend or someone, just, let them know. These dogs from any other organization are anywhere between $18,000 and $25,000, and most veterans cannot afford those dogs.
No.
That's true.
If you know anybody that can benefit as far as their health goes from a dog, just let them know, and we're looking for people to apply.
That's wonderful.
Now, what's the criteria?
Well, obviously they have to qualify. They have to have a medical need for a dog. So we're not training pets for, just companion dogs. Yeah. We can train it for you. We'll direct you in the right directions, but we're truly training dogs that are gonna make a difference medically in your health. So either it's helping you with your physical disability or mental, but there needs to be a need. So we do a background check as far as your medical, and we talk to the, therapists and professionals at VA. You have to have your finances that you can actually afford to keep and feed the dog. Yeah. Even that we go as far as offering the veterans dog food at wholesale prices. We have a wholesale account that we get our food from. This secures that our dogs eat quality food ongoing, and also the veterans will save money on purchasing the food. So we don't have a huge, criteria, but we have to make sure that the dog will have good, safe environment, and that you have a medical need to receive the dog from us.
What if a veteran already has a dog? Would you train dogs if a veteran already has a dog and has the medical and perhaps mental criteria?
Okay, so I'm going to be very honest with you. Yes, we do. Probably 5% of the dogs that already exist in the households could be trained for a service dogs. 95% cannot. We can assess those dogs and we can train them. It's not a free service that we offer, but they can apply for financial help from us and get the dog trained if the dog is assessed and he passes the assessment, through our trainers and through the program. There's a lot that goes into it that people don't realize. We assess all of our dogs, and with the assessments, they all pass. 40% never make it to the end. So, that's why, the dogs that we place, we know that basically they successfully finish the program and that they can be placed. And people need to understand, if you bring us your dog, even if he passes the assessment, that doesn't mean that the dog is going to finish and graduate.
What are some of the reasons that they don't pass the assessment?
Almost environmental, always.
Yeah.
We can teach the dog any tasks. Some learn quicker, some takes longer time. Environmental, if the dog basically fails on something, like we had a dog that we thought was a salad dog. We took it to Mohegan Sun to one of the games. The drums start playing. She just basically went off.
Yeah.
And it took her an hour to recover. We cannot train to get rid of this, okay? She will always be afraid. So we can't place this dog in public with a disabled veteran, and then when she hears drums, the dog goes running.
As we just went through 4th of July fireworks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So things like that, we cannot train, we cannot correct, and that dog failed.
Yeah. It's how many dogs do you have at any one time?
So right now we have 10 dogs. Our number of dogs that we train really depends on the foster families that we have. This is gonna change. That's why we're looking for applicants, because now with our dogs being able to be trained at the York prison, we're gonna be able to place and train more dogs. So, the number of dogs we can increase, and the program is gonna change a little bit. But like I said, the amount of dogs we trained, it really, really depends on the families that we have available.
Wow. That's amazing. And was that a change? Like, was that something that you've been working on to get into York, and that you just got that straightened out since like March?
was,
Or it was a lot of work?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's quite a success.
Yeah. Well, you're dealing. Is there a lot of discussion on that we can talk about as far as that move?
Well, we don't.
We can make it for.
We know now that we have kind of, we passed all the kind of checks and
Yeah.
all that, and we have the orientation date. So now we know certain that probably starting next month we'll be able to start placing dogs. And when that happens, hopefully we know we have a big opportunity to grow in there, and hopefully maybe in the future go to other prisons.
And for the viewers, maybe we can cover this a little bit more in a second segment
Yes.
also. But for the viewers, Mira's talking about the Department of Corrections at the women's prison down in Niantic, which is the York facility. Being a retired lieutenant with the Connecticut Department of Corrections, I know where that facility is.
Okay.
And I know they've done a lot of good work in the past with animals.
Yes.
Maybe with horses. I think actually Gates, the men's facility out in back, I think that's shut down since I've been retired
No,
for
they
13.
still have the-
They still
they
have
still
it?
have the
The
horses,
horses
yeah.
are still there?
Yes.
But they've done some amazing things down there.
Well, and hopefully those dogs will change in some way the lives of the inmates as
Yes.
well.
Great.
So it will be like an additional benefit of, the dogs.
You want to give the viewers the website and maybe a phone number?
It's www.foreverinmyheartfoundation.org, and the phone number is 860-490-2170.
Okay. We got about a minute left. It's amazing. It's amazing how fast these segments go. It'd be nice if we can make them an hour. But yeah, if you want more information, please, for more information, those numbers and the number and the website was definitely given out. And you can always contact the Veterans Corner itself, and we can get you that information. With that being said, I'm getting a 30-second warning. So this is the point where we say thank you very much for being here. Once again,
Thank you.
Mary, it's a
Thank you for
pleasure.
having us.
It's a pleasure meeting you two folks.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was-
Colonel, Judy, it was great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I got about 10 seconds to say goodbye, so that's about all the time we have. Once again, I want to thank our guests for being here. I'm Chuck Wooden.
I'm Monique Melanson Hunter.
Good night, and thank you for watching the Veterans Corner.